Amazon and Apple are now staring at a less than merry holiday season. Thanks to supply chain disruptions, Apple is likely to cut production of the new iPhone 13 by as many as 10 million units. Both companies recorded revenues below Wall Street's expectations, while Amazon's labor disruptions pushed up costs to $2 billion. Shares of both companies fell by 3% or more in after-hours trading. As the two companies firefight worker shortages, material shortages, and other supply chain issues, China burns more coal than all of Western European mines put together to avert the power crisis. More on that and exactly how bad the shortages are that manufacturers now face. This is Procurement Shorts, where you can get your daily dose of news on what's impacting the world of procurement and supply chain. While recording close to $100 billion in profits over a 12-month period, Apple warned that there would be increasing challenges in manufacturing the new flagship iPhone 13 variants, especially during the holiday shopping quarter, thanks to the supply chain disruptions. These disruptions have already bitten into revenue costs, costing the company over $6 billion. According to Rob Hanfield, professor of supply chain management, North Carolina State University, there is little that can be done about supply chain shortages except to form realistic forecasts, but not by using the common time series models since demand is unstable. He suggests a forecasting model that is based on real-time consumer consumption data and connecting it to other events using outlier analysis. Realistic, robust plans that are malleable might just help find ways to deal with the current crisis. Andy Jassy, who succeeded Jeff Bezos as new chief executive of Amazon, said they expect to incur several $1 billion of additional costs as they manage labor supply shortages, increase wage costs, increase freight and shipping costs, and other supply chain issues. Amazon CFO Brian Olsavsky spoke of how the company has had to reroute products to deal with labor shortage and inconsistent staffing levels in its operations. Consequently, the company is now down from a $6.9 billion profit from last year to an estimate of anywhere between break-even and $3 billion during the holiday quarter. Amazon plans to hire about 275,000 permanent and seasonal employees, in part to deal with the online holiday shopping surge. And to help attract and retain staff, wages have been raised, bonuses of $3,000 have been handed out in some cases, and a plan to pay for the tuition of its workers is also being considered. But according to WorkStep, a recruitment platform for supply chain, employees, training, workplace safety, orientation, and career progression are the long-term solutions to hiring and retaining workers. The CEO of WorkStep, Dan Johnston, believes Amazon is throwing money at the wrong problem. The real issue, he believes, is career growth. This is corroborated by a recent RHA research that showed that promotion plans, leadership feedback, and training could stimulate the staffing crisis. The perfect storm and the domino effect. These metaphors are often used to describe how the world arrived at today's supply chain crisis, which is expected to last till late next year. Consider the COP26 climate summit that is set to kick off on Sunday. China, eager to be seen as an active participant in the global effort towards zero carbon, typically times the release of its climate roadmaps close to such events. But China delivered two blows to the climate summit to be held in Glasgow. First, in the 16-page report, the nation reiterated its existing climate change targets to zero out emissions, thus effectively ruling out major agreements on action to limit global temperature rises to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Second, China is set to produce 220 million tons of extra coal by expanding its mines, even as it burns more coal than the rest of the world combined. A severe power crisis caused by a shortage of coal, exacerbated by the rising cost of coal, in turn driven by the unprecedented surge in demand in the manufacturing sector, is the reason behind the sudden increase in coal consumption. China's coal shortage is also the result of the nation's ban on Australian coal imports, which amount to 5% of the total. While coal production rose by 4.4% this year, energy consumption grew 14% and coal imports dropped 10%. The power crisis, which came to a head this week, has resulted in alarming symptoms. Cities have been blacked out for hours on end. Power plants and utilities have shut down ostensibly for maintenance because the state refuses to raise the price of electricity in residential areas, even as coal prices have risen by over 84% since mid-year. To comply with stricter energy consumption policies, a number of Tesla and Apple suppliers have had to suspend production for a number of days. A number of facilities in Kunshan province, which also houses Foxconn, a major Apple supplier, have had to shut down for days on end. Even as China struggles with supply chain issues to import coal from as far as North America, its power problems have contributed to higher prices all over the world. The prices of aluminum, which is one of the most expensive materials to manufacture in the first place, have steadily risen by 73% since March to a 10-year high. Prices of steel and copper too have escalated like never before in the industry. The basic building blocks of construction and electrical products are at an all-time high. This will in turn reflect on the bicycle or the soda can or the mobile phone you intend to buy this holiday season. That is, if you can get your hands on one without having to contend with a long waiting period.